Hello, everybody. Just about left the microphone on mute. It is off of mute, right? Yes, it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Glad to see everybody here. Let's see who we have here, shall we? Jean is here. Hi, Jean. And Nadine. Bonsoir, Nadine. Saw the lovely picture you sent of me of your daughter's graduation. That looked really nice. Brenda's here. Hi, Brenda. And Lynn is here.
Did you say Barb?
Did I miss Barb?
Barb's at the top.
Oh, hi, Barb. Yep, I missed that. Sorry, Barb. Sue is here. Karen B is here. Andy's here. Derek is here. Hello. Got the time right. Clocks went back in the UK last night, so kept checking so didn't miss the live. Yeah, we don't go back, I think, for... Do we go back next week? Or is it later in November?
I'll have to look again.
Yeah, it used to be. We used to go back in October. Used to be just before Halloween, but that was years ago. And then they put it into November for some reason. I don't know what. So, yeah. So, what do you find?
I don't know. I'm going to take a look.
Okay. Walter's looking that up to see when we change our clocks. Lance is here. Hi, Lance. And Mel's here. Hi, Mel. And Christine's here. Hi, Kristen, I mean. Not Christine. Krista. I'll have more beer. Glenn is here.
Sunday, November 5th.
Oh, so next... Ooh, that's when I'm having the men's... Oh, that's going to be... Okay, I'm going to have to send out another email this week with that. Okay, note to self. Yeah, so Derek, we go back next Sunday. So next Sunday, everybody, it'll still be 4 o'clock, our time, but...
It'll be actually 5 o'clock for some other people.
Yeah, it's going to be later. You have to check the time change thing. I don't know, that gets me all confused. So I know we'll be on at 4 o'clock. It's always
4 o'clock our time. So,
but
I mean,
yeah,
that might conflict with you guys.
Yeah. Lost Weka. Okay. Have we ever had you on here before, Lost Weka? You're welcome.
Good morning. It sounds like she might be Australian.
Oh, maybe. Are you in Australia, Lost Weka? Let us know. Inquiring minds want to know. I said hello to Kristen. I said hello to Glenna. Melissa's here. Hello, Melissa and Marilyn. And Lynn is here. Yeah, they're all telling us next weekend. Okay. Dawn is here. Philippa is here. Hello, Philippa. And Diana Miller. 35 degrees in Texas would have changed from 102. I'm sure it is. Did you crack? You know, you go from hot to cold or whatever. It makes things crack.
It's almost as cold as it is here.
Luane is here. Hello, Luane. Clocks went back last night in Finland, too. Okay. So some people have changed their clocks ahead of when we do it. Melissa says at 2 a.m. Sunday. Yeah. And Patsy's here. Hi, Patsy. Teresa DeYoung's here. The pop-up. Well, we're going to talk about that, Teresa. Deb is here. It's Mozilla. And I'm a newbie in New Zealand. Oh,
okay. I was getting close.
I think that's our first New Zealander.
No, we've had a New Zealander.
Have we had a New Zealander before?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I forgot about that, but we haven't seen her in a long time. I'm sorry, we haven't seen they.
Yeah, I'm sorry we said Australia, but I understand that New Zealand and Australia don't get along.
Well, I think they get along, but I mean, we know that you're different because one time when we were in New Zealand, it was New Zealand for something, and one of the people there, a native New Zealander, made a comment to us about when we said, no, we're not Americans, we're Canadians. And he goes, well, it's the same difference. I said, just like New Zealanders and Aussies, right? He kind of shut up at that point. Matt's here. Hi, Matt. So Matt and Lance, our time here in Ontario, it affects us for our men's sewing. Well, it is still the same time for us, for me, 8 o'clock in the morning a.m., but I don't know what that does to your time zones if you're in a different time zone, how that's going to work. Oh, God, that's going to get confusing. I didn't even think of that. Oh, well, you're clever people. You'll figure it out. Pamela's here. Hi, Pamela. So anyways, we've got quite a crowd coming in, and we'll probably have more. So let's talk about lots of things today. Got some fun things, got some serious things. So first, let's talk with Walter's making faces. You do that on purpose because they all just love it when Walter makes faces and when he rolls his eyes when I say something. Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time.
So the same for him as us, so it won't be a problem. Lance says it will be 5 miles. Oh, well, yeah, Lance, because you're way out there. Oh, Dana's here. Hello, Dana. Dana has blessed us with her presence today. We are not worthy, Dana. We are not worthy. Yeah, never mind. Okay. So, everybody I know is dying to find out what's going on with the scrappy cats. Well, these scrappy cats are beginning to make me love dogs more and more. So here's a pile of scrappy cats. I still have about 3 more of them to do before I can start then getting them arranged properly and the sashing pieces and all that. It's coming, but so is Christmas. Who would have thought a pattern this, well, relatively basic? It's half square triangles. It isn't hard to sew. It gets very confusing placing the pieces. Yesterday, one of those cats, the tail on the cat, I resewed it 5 times. I kept turning something half-ass backwards in it, and I think I was getting tired at that point. But it's coming along, as you can see. And you may wonder what Walter is working on right
Well,
now.
I'm still doing the shirts. I didn't bring them down, but I'm doing 2 shirts at the same time. So I've gotten up to the sleeve. So
Oh, well, that's good. Didn't you sew a sleeve in? You had a bitch of a time with one?
I had a couple of problems with a couple of the sleeves. I think that material doesn't work quite as well as normal quilting cotton.
Yeah. Well, anyways, they're coming. We'll show them to you when Walter gets them done. Teresa says, when the clocks go back, you have no excuse to be late for something. Well, that's true. Lost says, I bet it's all good. Thanks for knowing the difference and well done on the pronunciation of Weka. Most people find that one difficult. Fun channel. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Stephanie's here. Hi, Stephanie. I take it, Stephanie, you're probably still in Houston, I guess. You were there for Quilt Market and now for the big quilt show, I guess. So when do you come back? Are you going to be here for Wednesday? I never asked you that before. Derek says, oh, I'm liking the cats, but also secondary patterns that are appearing. Yes, there is some in there. I'm just catching up. Gail says, howdy from Ohio. Hi, Gail. If shipping wasn't a pain, I would buy several shirts from Walter. Well, the problem is you can't afford them, Melissa.
Well, the problem is they probably wouldn't want to make them for you.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to make them for her?
She's home.
Oh, Stephanie's at home.
I have a hard enough time getting me motivated to sew them for myself.
Matt's not sure if he loves those shirts. Oh, okay, Matt. The shirts we're wearing right now, Walter makes.
Yeah.
But the shirts he is actually making that we haven't shown you yet is because we're going to a 60th birthday party for a friend of ours, and she's doing this right up. She's got like music, dancing, booze, the whole bit in a hall, and she's got a theme. It's the 1960s. So, what? You got some fabric. Where'd you get fabric?
I got it from Spoonflower.
Yeah, I know. But you see, the to have a dialogue, one person asks another person questions, even though he knows the answer to it, so the other person will answer to fill in other people. It's called entertainment.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, I got it from Spoonflower.
I'm going to roll my eyes now. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, you got Spoonflower. It's retro stuff.
Yeah, but the fabric is a different quality than regular quilting cotton, and I had trouble getting the sleeves in because I kept getting
Puckers?
a pucker in them.
No, we don't want any puckers.
And I even though they were little puckers,
Little
even though
puckers.
they were little puckers, they were bothering me.
Well, those little puckers will get to you. There's no 2 ways about it. I just saw something go by here. Oh, Quilting in the Man Cave is here. Oh, hi, Quilting in the Man Cave. Your name's Rob, right? Rob? I think so. I hope I got that right. Rob or Bob? I think it's Rob, but you can tell me. Let me know. And Ez is here. Oh, Matt says, oops, that should have been an exclamation points. Okay. And Lost says you make awesome shirts, Walter. Yes, that's why I wear them all the time. And the problem is, it is getting a little cooler here, and I've been pushing the short sleeve season as long as I can because I don't want to start wearing long sleeve shirts. Because
Actually, I got to the point where I kind of really like wearing short sleeve shirts, and I'll wear a sweater over top instead.
A sweater. It's not a sweater. It's
or
little
a jacket or
thing.
something.
It's not a sweater. We don't wear sweaters anymore. To make you look fatter. Um, Patsy says, Walter, I'm with you. It became a chore when you're sewing for someone else. Well, yeah, and the thing is, not saying that um when someone here says, they'd love to have one of Walter's shirts, but you get people on the street that'll say it to him and go, oh, do you have a company? And we go, no. And then I look at them and say, you can't afford them. And they kind of look at me and I said, that shirt's $80 minimum. And they kind of like, what? Yeah, it's one of a kind.
Yeah, the problem is that when you're buying fabric, I'm buying it at resale price or wholesale, not wholesale. I'm buying it at retail price, so I'm not getting a deal on it. It's not a wholesale price like a manufacturer would get it or something like that. So then you have the cost of the material. When one of these shirts, there's a lot of waste when you cut one of these shirts out. So I need at least 2.5 yards of fabric to get a short sleeve shirt. And I usually get like at least 3 yards because in case I screw up a sleeve or something like that, I've got extra. So you can calculate that out depending on the cost of the fabric.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's thread, and then there's your time.
Yeah, we've talked about this before,
and
though.
It takes quite a few hours. It takes a while to make a shirt because, oddly, I make mistakes along the way, and then I have to rip them back out.
Just run that by me again. You make what? You make what?
Yeah.
What? Oh, mistakes? Did I hear Walter admit he makes mistakes? Wow, I'm impressed. Not. Gail says I made a shift dress and the bottom half of it did not fit. Well, that's because it shifted. Really, I don't see the problem. So I cut the bottom part off. Now I have a great top. So what are you wearing on the bottom? Whoa. Good use. Didn't waste fabric though, did you? Let's see. Darn those puckers. Those dirty little puckers. Oh, it is Rob. Quilting the Man Cave. It's Rob. Okay, I thought so. Teresa says puckers make home ec teachers crazy. You mean they're not already? Any home ec teacher I ever knew, and I worked with quite a few of them, we're all just a little bit, just a little woo.
I definitely know.
Yeah. Woo, well, you met the same
we
ones.
met the same ones.
Yeah. So, Mary's here. Hi, Mary. Cheryl's here. Hi, Cheryl. Mary's in Kansas, and Teresa says, Walter, do you give your scraps to Stephen and make charm squares?
Yeah,
No.
I've been making. I gave you a bunch of scraps last time.
Yeah, I didn't make them. I made them into a quilt.
Yeah.
In fact, I haven't shown you the quilt yet, finished yet, because I just took it off Lucy yesterday, and now I'm going to bind it this week, and then I'll be showing it. I want to actually, when I do take some pictures of it, I want to grab the shirts in my closet that are in that quilt as well and have a picture of them side by side.
Yeah, especially if I'm making it from quilting cotton. I usually hang on to it for a little bit for whatever reason, and then I give him stuff. So.
Yeah. Jeffrey's here. He says, good evening. Sorry, I'm late. Yeah, how are you going to make it up to us? We accept cash. Yeah. Philip says, you guys are stylish setters. Well, we could run to the beat of our own drum, so to speak. So anyways, yeah, that's what we've been up to, working on, and some notes. Still sewing with Stephanie and Stephen Wednesday as usual. You know the drill. And on last Wednesday's sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, I always get enabled somehow to buy something. So it did cost me a little bit that day because, is Jan on here? I don't see Jan. Lydia's here. Hi, Lydia. And Lynn, of course, but don't see Jan yet. Well, Jan, one of our regulars, she's been talking to me about a water pick system. She swears by it. She's got one. And so I made the plunge. I bought one, and I'm loving it. I really am.
Scares the crap out of me every time I hear it go off. I think there's some new machinery. Who's running machinery this late at night?
It does make a bit of a loud noise. Although I'm thinking if I get a pad or something to sit it on, it might dull the noise down a
Oh,
little
Jan's
bit.
there.
Oh, there's Jan. Hi, Jan. She was lurking.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, yeah, I really quite like it. So we'll see how my dentist does when I go in for my next teeth cleaning kind of a thing. But you know, I do floss like constantly. But this is supposed to be better than using, you know, the traditional. Now you just drown yourself. One thing I discovered with a water pick the other day, okay? Make sure when you turn it on that the little tubing is in your mouth. Because if not, well, when it goes right up your nose, it serves as like a neti pot kind of a thing. It's like a water wiggle. It's got so much pressure, you got to have two hands. If it's not in your mouth, it's kind of like ooh, all over, if you know what a water wiggle was. But yeah, I kind of like it. So good investment. Thanks, Jan. Oh, Jan and her smiley faces. She just loves her smiley faces. Leah says they're great. Got one too. Make it a mug rug to dampen the noise. Oh, didn't think of that. Walter suggested a mouse pad. I don't think I have any extra mouse pads laying around. I think I threw some out. I might have one though too. But that's actually the mug rug idea. Is not a bad idea either. So, and then you could wash it too when you need to.
Yeah, isn't that Waterpick brand? I don't know that you could buy a knockoff brand.
Yes, you can. There are knockoffs, but
yeah.
no, mine's an actual water pick. The, you know, WATERPIK. It's the real thing. I did look on Amazon originally. I didn't buy it from Amazon. I bought it from Costco. I got a good deal on Costco in comparison to Amazon. Amazon had the one that I ended up buying on Costco for about $111. But the one from Costco, and I'm talking Canadian, okay, was $95, but it also came with the travel model as well, which is kind of looks kind of bulky. But it came with that too for that price, and it was free delivery with them. And now they said it was going to take about 5 days. I got it within 2. So yeah, but I did look on Amazon, and there were ones about for half the price, but they were not water pick. And I thought about it, and the reason I thought about it was I thought, well, what if I don't like it? What if Jan lied? Okay, kind of a deal. Poor Jan. And you know, then I'm not investing a whole lot of money into this thing if I don't like it. But then I thought, well, yeah, but then maybe you should stick with something that's tried and true, right? Like Waterpick. When you think of Waterpicks, you think of Waterpick, the company. So I went with that, and I don't regret it. Just looking at what people are saying here. Jan says, so happy I enabled you Wednesday. Yeah, you enable me most Wednesdays, Jan. But then again, what did I buy yesterday, Mr. Enabler? What did you buy yesterday, Jan? I don't know what you bought. I don't remember.
Was it one of those pads with the
pads?
You know, the binding ease?
Oh, what? Did you buy a binding ease, Jan? I don't remember what you bought. You expect me to remember that long ago? That's over 24 hours. Maya's here. Hi, Maya.
She saw us.
She saw us in Ajax today. Okay. Thank you very much for stopping by. You have new fans, new genre. That's Quiltelicious. And actually, I'm going to Quiltelicious. Is that how we say it?
Yes, I think so.
It's a neat name.
Quiltalicious.
There's no L.
L.
That's a T. Quiltelicious.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure now either, but they're a great company, and I'm going to talk about them in a second. So they're here. So welcome. I didn't buy a ton of goodies. Oh, you're talking to Stephanie. Oh, okay. Fine. Why don't you guys just have a private conversation, and when you're done, we'll pick it up from there. Yeah, really. Matt says, I love Costco. Wish they sold quilt fabric. Yeah, I know.
It looks like Quilteticious.
Oh, okay. Jan says quilt bags. Oh, right. I forgot the storage bags. Yeah, right. How could I forget? Colleen's here. Hi, Colleen. Yeah, I think there's a bunch of you bought those storage bags. Actually, I am not the enabler of those. It was Sue, if you remember. Sue was the first one. She showed us those bags on Wednesday. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, these are these bags we bought for storing our quilts. And I am doing a whole thing about those on Tuesday on Idiot Quilter. So tune in for that and you'll see my whole review of those. But they're great. Stephanie, I guess she ordered some new fabrics from Quilt Market. Quilt Issues.
No, there's another T.
No, there's another T, dear, in there. It's Quiltatious. So Quiltatitious. Quiltatitious. There it is, right there. Yeah. I love the name. I just can't say it. Sweet Granny's here. Hi, Sweet Granny. Oh, asking, did you ever get your window in? Oh, that's so last month. Yeah, we did. The window is in, and so far so good. It's working the way it's supposed to work. It isn't fogging up or anything like the other one beforehand. So yeah, it's in. That's one problem solved. Okay, so yeah, as I said, those quilt storage bags that I bought, they're not actually technically called quilt storage bags. They call them, get this, 90-liter something non-woven bags. 90 liters. You can't put wet stuff in them. Why would you?
Yeah, for some reason they sometimes put stuff in liters.
Like 90
I mean, actually, when I was looking at the cars, right? Some places will describe the inside volume of the car in liters, and other places do it in cubic feet.
How many liters are you?
Mine, with the seats down, mine's over 2,000 cubic liters.
I kind of meant you. I didn't mean your car. But whatever. Sue says, so happy to be able to help the North American economy and Amazon profits. Derek says, I would have pronounced it quiltatious. Quiltatious.
Yeah.
But there's an A. Quiltatious. Help, John and Maya. Spell it out phonetically. I'm not good at phonetics.
Actually, you're right. He's right.
Yeah?
Quiltatious.
Quiltatious?
Yeah. Because it's quilt-a-tious.
Quiltatious.
Yeah.
Quiltatious. Quiltatious. Everybody repete. Quiltatious, quiltatious, quiltatious.
Derek Scott's correct.
Okay. Well, he is a professor.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Dan says, Derek, yes, you're right. Oh, thank you, Jan. Professor Derek Scott. Meet Professor Jan Lovejoy. You people would like a room for yourselves. And Patsy agrees. Me too, Derek. Oh, there's always one in the crowd that just follows, right? Yeah, no original thinkers here whatsoever. You know what I always say? If I can't pronounce a word or a name, they become Gladys. Everybody becomes Gladys. Okay, so let us talk about them, shall we? Because they were at the quilt show. Now, this was a guild quilt show we went to this afternoon. I did take a video of the quilts. There were lots of lovely quilts. It wasn't a huge quilt show because it's a small guild.
Actually, they had a lot of nice quilts.
But they had some nice quilts there. And you will get to see that slideshow not today, not this week coming. It will be on the Idiot Quilter episode 1 week from this Tuesday. Okay? But of course, we saw a lot of great quilts and things like that there, but there were a few vendors. There weren't a lot of vendors. Ultimate Sewing was there, of course. And there was one I bought. I'm just going to give you a sneaky peek. I'm not going to show you this real fast. But I will talk about this in a week's time. There you go. Don't you love it? Yep, that's all you get to see. Now, there was one store there that she had it out of her house in Cambridge.
She was somebody that did stuff out of her house in Cambridge. And
She was not very
She
enthusiastic about
wasn't
what she
very.
does.
Her stuff didn't seem very organized, and
It seemed pretty old and dusty.
yeah,
And so did she, for that matter. I'm not going to mention what the name of the store was because one, I can't remember it, and two, I don't want to be slamming this lady.
no.
But I talked to her. She was not terribly friendly. She was sitting there with somebody that I took from what she'd said was her sister. Her sister was crocheting or something or knitting. I don't know which. I didn't pay much attention to her. Her sister seemed to be even more of a crone than her. And I
I
said,
mean, for somebody that's there and they're selling stuff, they didn't really seem to be promoting themselves.
they
very
didn't get
well.
off their fat asses off the chair, to be quite honest about it. And they didn't have that much, and what they had was old and dusty. And I asked her about her business, actually more to be polite than anything else, there. And she told me, yeah, she operated out of her house. It was by appointment only in the evenings and on weekends. Well, first of all, that puts me off. Anybody who has a business that's out of their private residence makes me like, I mean, not so sure about that. Maybe that works. I don't know. But, it gives you a weird feeling like, where did you get your stuff? Did it fall off the back of a truck? What? Not saying they're all like that, but anyways, that's my first red flag that goes up. Is when I hear that kind of thing. Yeah, I know it's lower overhead and all that kind of stuff in this day and age of inflation. So I asked her about her web, if she had a web presence. Well, she was sort of on Facebook, but there wasn't much there because she hadn't kept that up. Okay. So she gives me her business card, which was not a card. It was a slip of paper, colored paper that she'd printed out on her computer. Business cards don't cost that much. I've got business cards, and I'm not a business. Vistaprint, it's not that expensive for like 250, 500, even 1,000 on that kind of thing. And yeah, you can just call her and make arrangements. Well, if I don't know what you've really gotten, if this is a sample of what you have that's on these tables, I won't be calling soon. In fact, I kind of tossed a little slip of paper in the garbage. I didn't hang on to that. Or maybe I did. I may have pinned it to my bulletin board, which is basically a graveyard of stuff. So yeah, and yeah, she did long arming. And I said, oh yeah, so do I. Well, that didn't put her in a good mood. I guess she thought, because she was telling me about her long arm services, and that's when I said, oh, well, yeah, that's good. I said, I have my own long arm. And she says, oh, well, I bought my long arm 13 years ago, and I run this business, and it pays for itself. Okay, good for you. I said, I'm not a business. I don't long arm for other people. I'm afraid if I was to make a mistake on my own quilt, it's okay. If I make a mistake on somebody else that's a paying customer, that's a different story. So I'm not putting myself in that situation. So I said to her, well, anyways, yeah, maybe the next time I'm in the Cambridge area, I'll look you up. Not. So then we went around the corner and found the exact opposite. We found John and Maya of
Quiltatious.
Thank you. Of Quiltatious. And I had reviewed them some weeks ago. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure I said nice things. I told them that, and they were looking it up. So that's why they're here. They're checking us out. But very nice people, and some really cool fabric I'd never seen before. Now, I'm only giving you a little peek. I will do a full reveal of this in a week's time. But I just want you to see the front of it. Isn't that pretty? Okay, that's all you get to see. Sorry. You can go to their website, though.
Yeah, they had a lot of like half yard cuts and full yard cuts in bundles for a decent price. And
they're so pretty.
Yeah, a lot of really nice looking stuff.
This that I bought is called Twilight by Dan Morris.
Dan Morris, yeah.
Dan Morris. I have never heard of Dan Morris. So when we got home, I looked him up. And there are other places that have it, but he's not. You got to go to Quiltatious.
Yeah, it seems to be difficult to find in Canada. I found there's a lot of places in the U.S. that carry it. because I saw a pattern. I can't remember the name of the pattern that I saw by Dan Morris, but then I started looking more at his stuff just more recently, last couple of weeks and stuff like that. And because I saw a line that I really liked. And so they had a lot of Dan Morris, which was kind of interesting. But see, they're also on the Windsor-Detroit border. They're close to the United States. So I don't know if it's easier for them to get that fabric from the U.S. or
Yeah, you said they're from Windsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Windsor. So maybe. But either way, do check out their website. And according to Maya, Derek did say it right. So, okay. I'll probably still stumble over it, but I'll get it eventually. Does that Luann says, oh, only that would make up for the club place. Okay, they're having private conversation. Derek's gonna hide in a corner. Okay, Derek. Whatever. Gene says gotta run. Well, walk. We'll catch the rest on replay. Okay, Gene. Thanks for dropping by. Teresa says, thanks, guys. Just bought the quilt bags. I have some that I got on TSC that were much more dollars and was looking for more. Okay, Teresa. Yes, I think this is the enabler session of the month with these. And Luann says, I just noticed, are those panels above your heads? Well, no, they're my logo, and I had them made, well, they're banners, okay? Not panels. They are on fabric, and I got them from a company where I get my business cards from called Vista Print. Yeah, but I thought I should have something in the background so they did Quilter, because I noticed that most people on their channels have something that says that. I didn't. Mary says, oops, Kansas City Chiefs are on. See you all soon. Okay, bye, Mary. Be that way. You know, go see your sports team. Don't pay attention to our intellectual content. Really, thank you. Teresa says, we used to have a lovely lady in St. Thomas who sold fabric out of her house, usually for $10 a yard. Also by appointment only because the neighbors complained about the car. She'd buy end of bolts to the USA. Yeah, I know, but I'm still can't get over the fact that they're a business and they're in their own home. It's I'm sorry, but it suggests to me that you are not a legitimate business. You're somebody, you know, I put you right up there with the craft fair people. Sorry if you're a craft fair person. But
for me, I would think I don't mind that you're a business out of your home, but at least have a web presence.
Yeah,
and have a decent business card, right? Because that shows if you don't have that, then it almost shows that you're not being serious about it.
Well, it suggests too, what's the quality of the fabric that you have? Where are you getting this stuff from? And you're not making it necessarily easy for me to get to you. You're saying you come to me on my time, not on the customer's time. And I don't like that either. I'm sorry, I'm just picky about that. However, having said that, okay, if by chance I was to go to somebody's place like that and I looked down and went, holy crap, this is fantastic, I would have a different tune. But you're not going to get me in the door if you don't have at least some form of a web presence that looks like it's maintained, okay, or a decent business card. There was a place out in BC when we were there in the spring, if you remember, that looked like it was a farm. It was a farm. And we went up this long laneway, and there was a house. And we thought, oh, we're in the wrong spot. They had a website, though. But they did. And we were pleasantly surprised. Because that was that one, you know, what was that called?
However, they had hours. They didn't operate as a, like, call me.
No. They had regular, like, store hours. It was a regular store in sort of the basement of this house that was, you know, big. And so that was, you know, really good. What was that called? Chitter Chatter?
Yeah, something like that.
Church Hatter Quilts, something like that. So, yeah, it can be. But they had a business card, they had a web presence, you know, and so that says to me, okay, you're a legitimate business kind of a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. She didn't really say what else she had. She didn't seem to say that she had any kind of web presence. And so I don't know how people find her.
She said she had a Facebook page, but she says, don't really bother going there because I haven't kept it up. So right there, I mean, at least she was honest. about stuff, but that wasn't instilling a lot. And I saw what she had laid out, and like I said, it was kind of like if you went to a guild
Well,
and they brought fabric they didn't want.
yeah.
So
Yeah, Stephanie, you have a business at home, but you have a online presence and people can find your store. So
yeah, that's a little different. Okay, this lady didn't have any. And also on top of it all, the reason she only did it in the evenings and on weekends is because she has a full-time job. And then she was saying, yeah, and then she was confusing me because she said something about, yeah, she was going to retire soon. And I said, oh, you mean you're going to shut down your business? No, I have a full-time job. This is just something I do on the side. You are not instilling a great deal of confidence in me as a consumer, okay? At this point. Okay, so maybe it's working for you, but
like, I mean, the stuff she had laid out wasn't even, it just seemed to be piled all over the place.
and she didn't get her rear end off the chair and come over and speak to me face to face. I had to talk to her like from a distance. I mean,
She was sitting in a corner with this other lady, and it was like, oh, a couple of guys.
but
right.
There were other people that were sort of looking around there, other ladies, and they didn't make any effort to go over and speak to them or anything. I mean, if you're going to deal with customers, I mean, I worked in retail after I retired for a little while. And the thing was, when you see somebody come into, like I was in a physical store, but when somebody walks in the door, you greet them. Hi, how are you? If there's anything I can help you with, please let me know.
But like the booths on either side of them were completely different. Like
Yeah.
Quiltatious was on one side, there was another place on the other side, and they were very engaging in all the places and
Yeah.
talking to people and stuff like that, and showing them their specials and that. And they seemed to be actively taking a part in selling what they had. So it almost seemed to me like, why pack up all your stuff and bring it to a quilt show if you're not willing to
Yeah.
make an effort to sell it? It just seemed weird.
Well, maybe she doesn't need the money. I don't know. Maybe it was more of a hobby than a business. I don't know. Hi, Laurel. Diana's here. Hi, Diana. Yeah, Barb, that's true. She could have at least have an Etsy shop or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, Jan, Chitter Chatter. That's the name of the place out in BC. Yeah, some people have no sense of customer service. And I mean, businesses are hard to run. There's no two ways about it. And if you're going to have a successful business, you're going to have to put your whole heart and soul into it. I mean, and I'm sure anybody on here that runs a business, Stephanie, Maya, and John, and that, they know what we're talking about. And you know that people are putting their heart and soul into it by the way they present themselves at something like a quilt show or whatever. And I have to say, Quiltatious had the best display. It was pretty. It was all like you couldn't help it. You want to get in there and just run naked through the fabric.
Yeah.
The way it was bundled up and everything like that. And Maya, according to John, she cuts all the fabric as well. And he also said, and John was both of them were very enthusiastic about their business. You know, they made you feel like you count. And I think that's important, you know, because everybody wants to feel special. I mean, you're going to drop some money. You want to feel special about it. And John was explaining to me that Maya, when she cut stuff, like they had 10-inch, like layer cake style packages too. Well, they cut them bigger. So you can get, when you finish the quilt, like you'll get a full 10 inches. Because, you know, when you buy a layer cake, they're 10-inch squares. But you're going to lose half an inch in your quilt when you make those. If you're using the full square, right? You're only going to get 9.5 inches, but in finished. So I think that's a little something extra. And John also says that Maya always cuts the yardage a little bit more of it because, you know, you have edges that you're going to cut off and things like that. It's a little thing, but I think that's a big thing because it really shows you that the people running their business, when they do things like that, really care about their customer. You know, so yeah, do look them up. Do look them up, for sure. And I will show you what I bought, but not this week. Idiot Quilter's already planned for Tuesday.
Lydia and Pat, no, it is spelt with, in Pat's case, take the G and change it to a T.
Where
And
are
in
you-
Lydia, change the C to a T.
What are you looking at?
Pat Jennings says spelled quiltages.
No, not quiltages.
No.
Where's it on your phone again?
Yeah.
Hold it up for them to see. Walter has it here. Here it is.
So it's
So-
got a second T.
So
Quiltatious.
So Quiltatious. Yeah, Stephanie says having your own business in this industry is hard work. Yeah. Matt says, I get it. I'm leery of businesses without a website. Yeah, in this day and age, if a business doesn't have a website, I mean, it's really something a business, in my opinion anyways. I don't run a business, but if I did, I definitely would have a website for sure. Julie's here. Hi, Julie. So I was at Dollar Tree. They don't know if it's Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. Well, that's nice, Julie, but we're not talking about the Dollar Tree, so move on, dear. Thank you. Jan, you also get a personal note from Maya. I didn't. But I met them in person, so that's even better. You just got a little note, Jan. I got to meet them. I'm special in my own mind. Colleen said, you're still spelling it wrong, Pat.
Yeah.
It's Quiltat. Get rid of the C. IOUS. I'm learning how to spell it now for this number of times. Colleen says, "Oh, John and Maya. I hope okay. You spelled Maya wrong, Colleen. It's MAYA." Oh, this is becoming a spelling bee today. I hope you didn't let him do that. Just that, imagine. Oh, I'm running naked through the fabric. But you know, Colleen, that's my hobby.
Maya writes quiltatious, so.
Yeah, there we go. Jen says, on your orders, Brat. On your orders. I hate
It's
it when
like flirtatious.
Oh! Flirtatious, quiltatious. Okay. I wonder if that's how John and Maya came up with the name. Okay. Lydia, yay, tried to drop the link but didn't work. Good. Okay, there you go. So, anyways, it was an interesting little show. And now there was one booth. Now that might have been a guild booth. Oh, that's probably what that was. I was wondering why they were selling placemats and some table runners and other like knitted things and stuff like that. I bet you that was a.
They had one place that was selling, what is it, fabric by a yard, but it was blenders for $10 a meter, and what was it, solids for $8 a meter.
Yeah, but now they run out of their house as well. They're in a town to the east of us. The lady. She seemed to be a friend to the one that owned it, and I don't think the owner was there. Maybe the owner was the lady that
I think
was
the owner
fabric.
that was there was the lady that was cutting.
And she was busy cutting fabric and everything. And this other lady was saying, yeah, just, I asked if there was a website. There wasn't a website, but she can get you anything. Just, if there's something you want, just give her a call. She'll get it. You can make it by appointment. The only thing that made this booth a little better than the one we were talking about before that was out of their home was that this lady and that they seemed to be like talking to customers. I think it might have been a new business for us, so they're trying to get it off the ground. But their fabric did not look like it had been sitting around in a dustbin and things like that. But still, I'm a little leery about it. If I can't see, like, how do I know what I want? Unless it's something that I have the name for and everything and I can't get anywhere else, like I can't find it online, then out of desperation I might call. But I can't see myself that happening very soon. She said they didn't have a web presence yet. Okay, so maybe they're figuring on that. So maybe they're very, very new. But I mean, I think that's one of the first things after you get your inventory and everything settled out and where it's going to be and that, I think that's the next thing you got to put your priority on.
Especially in this day and age.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Maya. We don't blindly go in and kiss other people's asses, okay? About it. If we say we like something, we're genuine about it, because otherwise we wouldn't. We wouldn't say. Julie says, "Are they short-staffed? Every store seems to be advertising for help."
Don't know.
Who is short-staffed? I don't understand what you're referring to, Julia. You mean one of the home businesses we're talking about, or I don't understand the comment.
Yeah, I don't really understand either.
Yeah, you're confusing us, Julian. We're easily confused, as you well know. But anyways, yeah, it was kind of a fun little outing. It didn't take us long. Didn't take me long to drop $300. So yeah, but as I said, I teased you with those. Here, you want another quickie tease? Quickie tease. Nope, that's it. That's all you get. Oh, hello, Melissa. Pat says, put my priority on what? I was looking at this quilt. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Between Pat and Julie, I don't know what we're talking about now. And why are you yelling at me, Pat? Okay, I am confused. Julie says, sorry, though you were talking about a store business. Yeah, and that clears that up really well for me, not. Oh, you're so mean. No, now I'm going to get serious though, okay? This is something that happened yesterday at the Pop-Up So Day, and I do need to address it, okay? So right now, there is no humor in this or anything. I got an email this morning from an individual who was at the Pop-Up So Day yesterday, informing me about a situation I did not know that had occurred. Apparently, another person in the Pop-Up So Day took it upon herself to make a very rude comment to another individual about something that the other individual was doing. What the other individual was doing was nothing. She was eating. Okay, so everybody eats, on the Pop-Up So Day, one form or another. And she really hurt and upset this other person who basically was doing something that's a bullying tactic. I was oblivious to this. Now, I may not have been in the room. I may have been upstairs having lunch or gone to the bathroom or something at that moment. Or I was also working on my kitties, and I was concentrating on those. So I missed the whole point or what had happened. And apparently it didn't just upset the individual that this comment or these comments, I think it was more than one, was directed at, but it upset some of the other people in the Pop-Up So Day. It upset the one person that these comments were directed at so much that she left. And another individual left shortly after her. Now, I was completely oblivious to this. If I had known this was going on at the time or whatever, I would have stepped in because you know my rules, right? My sandbox, my rules. The thing is, when I run a Pop-Up So Day or a retreat or a day with Stephanie when we're doing sewing and that, we want to keep things pleasant, drama-free. I want people to have a good time when they're there. So it is inappropriate for someone to make, except for me, to make a statement that upsets somebody else. Okay? And I was being a little humorous there, and I said I wasn't going to be humorous about my comment there. But there was no call for it at all. So I did some investigation after I got this email, and I emailed a couple of other people that had been there and who had witnessed this. And between those other people, I got the picture. So I decided, okay, I've got to take action on this. So I wrote to the person who made the comments originally, the rude comments to this other person, and I told this person in no uncertain terms that this was inappropriate behavior and it would not be tolerated on one of my days. and I hope they understood. And I explained why it was inappropriate. You hurt somebody's feelings, you upset them. That is not the point of having a pop-up sow day. I then wrote to the person that had been upset by these comments and explained the situation to her. I apologized, which is not my role as the host. But I apologized to her and said, I am so sorry that this happened to you. I am sorry that I did not realize this was happening to you at the time. But I let her know that I had contacted the other person and had told that person that this would not be tolerated. I did get an email message back from the person who started all of this, the person who did the rude comment and the whole bit. And she did say she understood, but she thought it was about eating. And what she said was, I will read this to you from her email. Got your email, she writes. Thanks for letting me know there are very sensitive people in the group. Anyway, I shall keep my mouth shut. Still eating in front of a camera is no for me. See you next sow day. I wrote back. I didn't let that go because, quite frankly, I hated the way she wrote it. If she wants to be picky about no-nos are when you write something you put got and then the letters UR, email, THX for letting me know everything is a run-on sentence, and she misspelled the word shell and the whole bit. And I don't care if it's a no for you. What I wrote back is, thanks for your understanding. Sometimes we need to keep what is a no for us to ourselves in order to keep the peace. After all, it is not always about us, in quotation marks. In other words, we all have our preferences, right? There are things other people might do that do irk us, but in polite society, we keep those kind of things to ourselves. You know, it isn't for us or for anybody to dictate how somebody else should behave unless that behavior is upsetting the majority or is harmful to other people on an emotional level or whatever. Okay? And this lady was doing something that was emotionally harmful to somebody. So, I want to remind people of the etiquette for Zooms. Okay? Or at least for my Zooms. I always advertise them as a drama-free zone. That was drama. It didn't just affect one person, it affected a group of people by what that person said to it. She didn't call somebody a name or swear at them or anything like that, but that doesn't matter. She hurt somebody's feelings over something that was a non-issue. As I said, if I had known this was going on, I would have interceded right at that point, because as moderator of the group, I feel it is my responsibility to keep things running smoothly. However, when people reached out to me, and I know they reached out to me because they thought I should know and what that, but they're also suggesting that in between the lines that I need to do something about it. It wasn't my fault. I want to make that point perfectly clear. It was not my fault. 2, if I don't know it's happening, then I can't do, I can't do anything about it. I could have found out about it if someone had written me a private message in chat. Okay? Now, I'm not blaming anybody for telling me about this situation. I just want it perfectly clear. It wasn't my fault. I will be much more conscientious about my presence in my Zooms from now on. But I do not like to go in and manhandle the people who have come to a sow day, because that doesn't add to a pleasant environment. But I will take action where I feel action is needed to be taken if it is disrupting the pleasantness of our day. So I want to make that point perfectly clear. Okay? And this is the only time that I have ever had this kind of problem. I am thankful that I was told about it because I did handle it. You may not agree with the way that I handled it, but I fall back on the old adage that I use all the time. My sandbox, a loose balloon. It's hard to be serious when balloons are going off in the background. My sandbox, my rules. Okay, so I just want to make that perfectly clear. I don't want anybody to think that I did not take action, because I do care about what I put out there. Okay, so there we go. So I am sure there's a bunch of you that want to have a comment about this, and I'll decide whether or not I'll entertain those comments.
I mean, it's kind of normal for you to grab lunch while you're doing the sow day. And you sometimes forget the camera is on, but that doesn't matter. I mean, people eat all the time. I mean, everybody goes to lunch and goes to dinner with people, and you see people eat. So I don't see, unless you're doing washing machine or something.
Yeah.
In front of the camera.
Barb, to answer your question, the other fabric that I showed, I bought from a place called My Fabric Dresser. They do not have a physical store. I don't think they're an online store, but they do have a website you can go to, and they've got some neat things on there too. Oh, Pat got stuck on I kind of figured you did, Pat. I know you would never yell at me because, bless your heart. Matt says, who's on first? Stores are hiring incompetent people just to fill staff gaps.
Well,
okay, but what are we talking about? What store? Where did this?
Well, if you're talking about the lady that was sitting in the corner and not talking to us, she was the owner of the store. So
yeah. Is that what you mean? I am still so confused, Julie. I'm sorry, but I'm confused. Do you have a blacklist for pop-up sow day attendees? I don't, but I could have one soon.
Yeah, you don't, but that could occur.
She's been told. I have not said that I would put her on a blacklist. I wanted to. I'll read you what I wrote to her without revealing who she is.
Everybody's want to know, but anyway.
I know, but I'm not.
But no,
I'm not saying her name.
No.
This is what I wrote to her. I wrote, I have just been made aware of a situation that is upsetting me and involves you. I received several emails from individuals who attended my pop-up sow day Saturday that said you made a comment to one of the participants about their eating during the event. This upset several people enough that they brought it to my attention. I did not witness this situation. I was busy with my project and not paying close attention, so I only know what I've been told. I would like to suggest to you that personal comments about other people during the pop-up sow days are inappropriate. I'm sure you did not intend to upset anyone, and sometimes some individuals get a little too sensitive. Nevertheless, we must always be aware of other people's feelings. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I really do not want to be placed in a situation that involves dealing with inappropriate actions, so I ask all of my pop-up sow day participants to contribute positively to the day. Thank you for your understanding. That's what I wrote to her. I did not turn around and say, you fucking bitch. I will rip you from this earth. I will take out a knife and unseam you from the nave to the chops with that. No. So that's why I also didn't say that I was going to put her on the blacklist. I did think about it. I did. But I thought, well, look, let's give her the benefit of the doubt that she didn't realize her comment would have that effect. Okay? It happens. I mean, we've all said something that we didn't really think was going to be a big hoo-hoo, and it's happened, hasn't it? So I'm giving her the chance, but I'll be watching. And if she does it again, I will have no problem kicking her out and never letting her back in again. Okay? So I will do that. Again, my sandbox. That says I agree, blacklist them. I give them a chance. I give
Yeah,
them
I
a
give
chance.
somebody a chance.
I
Like,
give
I
'em a
mean,
chance.
it may have been a knee-jerk reaction for her
Yeah.
for whatever reason. And then later thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, she might have. I was surprised I got a reply back from her. I really was. So, something sunk in, maybe. That's at least the way I'm choosing to look at
You
it.
know, you have little kids and say, don't eat with your mouth open.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I'm sure this individual was not sitting there with a big bucket looking like a piggy at the trough kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because I know who the person is, and I know she wouldn't do that kind of thing either. So, anyways, that's what I said. Stephanie says, wow, so she tried to make it about the other person instead of taking responsibility for actions. Exactly. And she wanted the last word, and I wouldn't give it to her. So, yeah. Yeah, Lynn says it was very upsetting. See, I missed all of that. I don't know
Yeah,
how.
like I don't know if I was on at that point in time or not, but I didn't hear it either. So
And Jan says there were several folks eating at the time. I've eaten on there.
I have to. I've had a cookie. I've had a
Yeah,
sandwich.
like, okay, So it's not a biggie.
I mean, if I happen to be watching myself eating at the time, I'm a little self-conscious about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so I sort of like hide the cookie.
yeah, I kind of like, try to make sure my mouth isn't open while I'm eating and talking through it, and I have a napkin. Okay, like, but we need to eat kind of a thing, especially on all day things. Derek says the reply email didn't actually have an apology. I hope the person who was upset is okay. Well, I sent this
obviously wasn't
to the
at
person.
the cocktail party because we were eating through that.
Oh, yeah. Geez, eating and drinking and molesting people. Yeah, okay. In this particular individual's case, I wouldn't expect it that there would have been an apology, and that's because, yeah, I don't want to say any more about that and why I think that, but there's a few people on here that know what I mean, because there was another little incident. I did not take offense to an incident where she kind of threw something out at me, made a demand on me, but because this person has been here a couple of times before, I kind of knew what her personality tends to be, and whether it's very hard to explain. It is something, I think it is related to her upbringing and where she was brought up. Put it that way. Okay. Slay Arts. Shannon's here. Hi, Shannon. It was obnoxious. How does she grab lunch with friends? Close her eyes. Yeah. Yeah, Shannon, you were there. You witnessed it too. Carrie too. See, this is what
Kristen said we were out of the room at the time. So
yeah, because I heard none of the discussion that was going on or saw anything about it. So yeah, I mean, if there is something like this, please send me a private message in the chat, or send me an email at the time. We're all on our computers, and my email is always checking for new things every 5 minutes. So, and then I'll handle it at that point. Because after the whole thing has happened, it's more difficult to handle it. And Lydia says, I was taken aback by her comment too. I decided to go get a snack and eat on camera. Like, good for you, Lydia. I just moved everybody up here and I'm trying to catch up. Okay. Comments are coming in faster than I can keep up with them. Lynn says, thank you very much, Stephen, for taking care of this. Yeah. Eating a sandwich is better than swallowing a pin. Very true. How about eating out? I consider having lunch with one another a time to be together. I could do so much with that statement right now, Pat, but most of it would be R-rated. I consider having lunch with one another a time to be together. Yeah, true, Pat, true. Well, ain't that nice, lads? Yeah, right, Jan. I think Julie is talking about the dollar store, but I'm not sure. Okay, could be. I'm still not sure either. All right, Sue. It wasn't just what she said, but the tone of voice when she said it. Yeah, then Libby agrees.
Tone will cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, And now I'm going to say something sexist because I was talking to Walter about this earlier today about the situation. I also think that when ladies are together, tone is very important. I think tone is more important than what people say. I think it has to do with how they say it. Men tend to just take you the way it is. Tone doesn't play as major a part in it. But we were talking about tone, made the joke today about, bless their heart. Well, depending on how you say it, it could be a compassionate suggestion or it could be very sarcastic, about somebody. Yeah, that kind of thing. So tone is very, very important. And as you said, this lady that made this comment had a tone that was somewhat derogatory.
Yeah, I've had people in my office say something to me that were equally scolding, and I just ignored it.
Yeah. Kelly Squilts is here. Hi, Steve. That response is perfectly polite and reasonable. Well, thank you. I think it is. I've had to deal with crass and inappropriate people before in my life as a school teacher. So, you learn a certain amount of diplomacy, although I would never call myself a diplomat. I can be, if I have to be. Melissa says, I think we should all bring some food to the next day. Well, more than welcome. Fine by me. It doesn't bother me in the least bit.
Doesn't bother me.
And Lydia says, anyway, glad you got wind of it and addressed it, Stephen. Very much agree that it's supposed to be fun, laid back, get together. Yes. And something like that obviously changed the mood. I was oblivious to that. Sorry. Kelly says, that was the problem. I drink coffee on my videos all the time. Is that not allowed anymore? Geesh. I say, I drink coffee on mine all the time too. So, yeah. It's an informal get-together of friends is the way I look at it. That's the way. We're doing what we like to do. We talk about everything under the sun.
For those of you that have already been to an in-person quilt retreat, right? If you're in an in-person quilt retreat, people eat and drink at different intervals at their sewing machines all the time. So this is almost like an in-person retreat, only you're at your own home. So people would be eating and drinking and everything at an in-person retreat at different times of the day. So why would this be any different?
Yeah. So this individual that made the comment basically has a problem with people eating. And she said, well, it was a no-no for her. But because it's a no-no for her, and I hear the tone in what she wrote, because she doesn't like it, everybody has to follow her rules. I sat at the last in-person retreat I went to, and one of the reasons why I won't go to another one organized by this group that organized it, was this old lady sitting at their table at food. She made one of the other ladies cry at the table because she turned around and there was mushrooms or something, and she said something about, I don't want any mushrooms, I hate mushrooms. And she kept, because other people were enjoying what they were enjoying in the food, she would make a comment, well, I never eat those and I hate them, in the whole bit, you couldn't have those. But this other lady sitting at the table she was a lady, one of those type of people that remembers every little trivia thing there is in the world.
And she's very sensitive to what other people say about her.
Yeah. And she started to say, well, about if you get mushrooms from China and what they grow them in and stuff like that. And this other woman just leaped on her and said, I don't want to hear anything about that. That's not table talk. I don't want to hear about that whatsoever. Now, this other lady, she's a little slow on the draw, and she had an agenda in her mind. She wanted to inform us of what she knew about this situation. And I know this other lady fairly well. I've been in classes with her before. And she can be annoying a little bit because she's one of those people with a lot of trivia in her head, but she is a very nice person. She's a very kind-hearted person in the whole bit, and she's also very sensitive. And this lady leapt right into her. And I regret to this day that I didn't turn around and say, look, bitch, I'm going to move you to another table. Picked up her plate, moved her off into a far corner away. And you do whatever you want. We'll talk about whatever we want at the table, and you won't have to worry about it. But I didn't do that. And this other lady that she was attacking was in tears, was in absolute tears. It broke your heart to see that. We were trying to have a pleasant time, and this old biddy, this old bitch, because there's no two ways about it. And I told one of the organizers of this group when she asked why we weren't going to go, because we've gone over the last few years to most of them and whatnot. And I said, well, I said, there are several reasons, but one reason is that I said, I don't want to upset you because I know that lady that I'm about to speak about is a good friend of yours, but she's a bitch. And this is what she did. And she made this other lady cry. And the other lady, the one who organized it, knew this lady too well. And I said, and as far as I was concerned, there wasn't any need to do that at all. And I said, you're just lucky that I didn't do what I thought I should have done and I wish I had done at the time. So, it's not all about the me here. We have to, you give a little, right? There are things people are going to do that will annoy you. But pick the mountain you want to die on, for God's sakes.
Okay, you need to read some of these comments because I think they're getting a little bit
What?
a little bit too far.
What, here?
Yeah.
Well, okay, where do I start?
Lydia was yummy granola bar. Fine, okay, that's fine.
Okay, we did that. Because I think you and Walter were getting launched, and this guy's next day saw going to a bag of
Julie M. Next day goes a sewing day. She'll bring flavored bugles and eat them off her fingertips.
Yeah, Julie, don't.
See, that's beginning to get gross.
Yeah, I know you're just making. Yeah, but I mean, she's just making it. You're just making a joke, Julie. But no, I don't think so. First of all, as much as like in my imagination, I said what I want to do this woman at the table, like move her into the corner somewhere, that kind of thing. I wouldn't do that. Because that would make the situation worse. And the other thing is, it would be lost on this person. That this person that we're talking about here who, insulted.
She's set in her ways, and
nothing's going to change it.
Nothing's going to change it.
So, but I have a plan of action. If she's on another one of these pop-up so days, I will watch her more carefully. And if she does something that's inappropriate, that'll be it. I don't have any problem kicking her out. And it's very easy to do it. I just hit one button. Boom, boom, bye-bye. And she'll never be allowed in again. But she wouldn't get the point of doing anything more dramatic, okay? At all. In her mind, I'm sure she thinks that she was perfectly justified because she's kind of stuck in her ways. This is how she does it. That's got to be the way everybody's got to do it. So, yeah. Hi, Susan. You're what? You're out. You're out. You're out. You're out. You're in. I don't know. Lydia says, Julie, make sure you leave your microphone on. I want to make sure I get full experience. Yeah. Okay. We're not doing that, people. I'll kick you out too if you do. Just saying. My sandbox. Teresa, you were so right about women. It seems if you get more than 3 women, there will be issues. I worked in an ICU that had over 300 staff. Between the full and part-timers, there was drama for sure. Now I think you understand why I'm holding a men's only sew day. I want to see if there's drama among men when there aren't any ladies around. Just, it's an experiment. We'll see. Derek says, I'm hoping someone eats spaghetti on the next sew day and sucks up each noodle individually. Okay, Derek, you're not helping the situation, although that is a fun suggestion. Yep, you're there for fun, Lynn. You are right. And Matt says, I'm thinking barbecue ribs would be ideal for eating at the next pop-up. You're going to gum up your keyboards.
Or get
sauce on your quilt. Yeah. That almost sounds dirty. I got sauce on my quilt. Really? Yes, Lynn, we should respect each other. Bring a wet wipe. Aren't the cubby holes on the machines for accessories really made to hold Smarties and Petas? Oh my God, you people are just going overboard now.
Just don't get them mixed up with your Wonder Clips.
Yeah. And Pat goes, how nice. Bless her heart. Reading. Susan says, oh my God, I had a co-worker who acted like that. She didn't think this one boy shouldn't have had 2 desserts in his lunch, so she picked up his lunch box and dumped everything in it in the garbage. Okay, that would be a little taking things just a little overboard. There are people with medical problems that have to eat at certain time, like diabetic people. Certainly wouldn't bother me. Yeah, okay, you guys are missing the point here. The point is this, and I've said it several times. My sandbox, my rules. Have any of you ever heard me make the rule that you can't eat on one of my pop-up soda days? No. And I'm not making a rule like that. So, nobody needs to get their knickers in a knot about eating. It's fine by
Not
me.
unless you start eating gross.
Well, if you're making, like if you're, throwing up or projectile vomiting, whatever you just put in your mouth, that might be a different story. But you know what I mean? Yeah.
Just be conscious that there are other people watching you, but that's about it.
But this isn't about anybody else in the group that day. It's about one Yahoo individual who took it upon herself to say something that was hurtful to another individual.
And she seemed to have waited until we were out of the room.
Well, I don't think she was conscious of that.
Maybe not.
I don't think so. If she didn't realize that she was hurting somebody's feelings, well, she'd be conscious that we weren't there. That would suggest she had a plan. I don't think she had a plan. I think that's just the way she is. Okay. Like, really, let's not get carried away, people, on all the drama. See, this is drama. This is drama. This is what I said. Didn't want drama. Men can get in the fray also. I hope that does not happen with your men's group. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that, Pat. We're just kidding. I know, Lydia, that you're just kidding. And Rob, if you're interested, Rob, in coming to that, it's going to be next Sunday, starting at 8 a.m. my time, and running until about 3 p.m. because, of course, we have to get ready for live on Sunday. But if you want to be on the mailing list for it and get the Zoom link for it, send me an email. And my email address is in the show note. It's actually in the About page. And I'll be more than happy to send you the information. Julie says, I'm a truck driver. The men crack me up. They whine too. But I will say they are kind to each other more than women. Well, we don't want to get punched out. Okay? That's probably the difference. We have to watch what we say to another man because, especially if they're bigger than me, I really don't want my teeth landing across the room. So, yeah. Yeah, I know, Julie. You're just making fun of the absurdity of it. Yep, I know. I want a t-shirt with my sandbox, my rules on it. Yeah.
Steve has one.
I do have one. Yes, Walter had one. Made me one for my birthday. I don't wear t-shirts. That's what you've never seen it. Except
in
I
October,
showed it.
You have 4 events.
What the hell's he talking about? I didn't ask you anything, Suri. So anyways, that was the big, exciting drama of the week, I guess. So, Halloween. Let's change the subject, shall we? Halloween. So, we got about 10 minutes left here. So I guess everybody's getting ready for that. Halloween, bah humbug. In my opinion, Halloween should be gotten rid of or it should be changed. This handing out cavity-inducing, diabetic-inducing candy to small children, I think that time has passed. I think what they should be doing is have a little party, where you have a kids party or something. You can have an adult party as well with the kids, a family kind of thing at a community center or hall somewhere or something like that, and just make an evening of it. I think it would be safer in some ways because, some of these kids end up, well, you never know what's going to happen to them, the whole bit. One thing I will say that needs to be abolished, and I'm very strong about this fact. Okay, people that had a baby recently, and you bring in the 6-month-old to my door in your arms, and you've stuck some bunny ears on their head, and I hope you used a glue gun. I know that baby's not eating that candy. I know you're eating the candy. And 2, unless that kid is related to me, and even if it isn't, I don't think they're cute. So you stuck bunny ears on the kid. I might suggest a hammer and and a nail if you really want to stay on in the wind. But I don't think it's cute. In fact, I think it's kind of sad. Unless you're bringing them over to show them to grandma and grandpa, you know, that kind of thing. Or to cousin Janie down the road, or your Aunt Nellie, whatever. But when it's a stranger, I don't care about your kid. I don't care how cute you think that thing is. And I know damn well right that you're going to eat my candy. You buy your own goddamn candy, okay? That is my soapbox today about it. Comments? Da, da, da. Hello, Linda. Quilting says, don't forget that day is time change day, Stephen. I would forget and come at the wrong time. Yeah, I know. We just looked it up too. So yeah, it could be really crazy next Sunday. Who knows with the time thing. Teresa says, I do miss the little kids that are so excited when they get candy and run into the parents to show it to them. Yeah, I mean, okay. 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6 years old, you know, that kind of thing. That's different. Because that's what we do, right? But babes in arms, you know, that's just sad. Philippa says, recently there was a lady who served mushrooms for dinner and killed 3 of the guests. The guests were her parents-in-law.
Yeah, that was in Australia.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah. That's one way to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's one way, yeah. Halloween isn't as much of a thing here anymore, Derek says. Very rarely do we get any kids trick-or-treating. Also rare to have actual parties where people dress up in costumes. Yeah, I think Halloween is pretty much a North American thing. More than anything else. Luann says, San Francisco has decided to bring back the Castro Street Halloween party. Big party, but now closing the street. Yeah, they do it in Toronto too, in the gay district as well. It's a bit of a zoo. That's Halloween on a whole different level. I bet you
there'll be lots of Barbies.
Oh, probably. Everybody dressed up as Barbie. Hello, little sweetie. And what are you, Barbie?
And what is that crazy Barbie?
Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of, Julie. You read my mind, Mrs. Slocum, and I'm unanimous in this. Unanimous. Oh, Candace is here. Hi, Candace. You could wear your t-shirt under one of your party shirts as it gets cooler. Oh, pretty shirts. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, true. I could do that.
Yeah, but you still have short arms. So.
Yeah, you still have short arms. You don't know, Pat. Pat, you don't know cold. Because you can't. How could you? You're not Canadian with it. Stephanie says, my kids' thoughts on trick or treat. You told us we shouldn't take candy from strangers. Now you're telling us to take candy from strangers. Well, yeah, really, when you think about it, right? Kind of a mixed message there, isn't it? How to screw up your kids. Don't take candy from strangers except on Halloween. I'm going to head out and help hubby clean out the oven.
Oh, that sounds...
Are you popping in babies?
Are you sticking your hubby's head in the oven?
Yeah. Are you making sure his head's in the oven? Okay, Kelly. Whatever, floats your boat. Derek says, our problem is that because Halloween is a non-event and we don't have a Thanksgiving, stores launch into Christmas mode from October. Well, the stores here have got Christmas stuff on one shelf and Halloween stuff on the other. So, you know, anybody who came from another planet and didn't understand our holiday season would be completely screwed up. But anyways, yeah, Halloween, bah, humbug. So, some things here talking about holidays. On Friday, we did So Chatty about Christmas gifts, like making them and things like that, and we had our views on different things about it. So we had some comments here that I thought were worth going over. Somebody said, I would be thrilled with a bag of scraps. Oh my goodness, I gasped when you said throw some away. Let's be real, people. How many scraps can anybody use? I've got literally barrels of scraps, and my intention is that fabric was so pretty, I don't want to get rid of it. Yes, I know the sentiment, but after a while, it takes over and you got to do something. And, it's just a question of how much time do I want to put into cutting all my scraps up into 2.5-inch squares and 5-inch squares and that kind of stuff and storing them. So, yeah, eventually it just gets too much and I just take big handfuls of it all and stuff it in a garbage bag, and I'm sorry, it goes to land filled. I know I could stuff it in a pillowcase or make a big bag or something and it become a dog bed. Yeah, I know that. I could do that too. But you want to know something? That's effort, and that's eaten into my real quilting time, so I don't do it. And then someone commented about my cats. I love the cats, but it sounds like you're tired of making them. Maybe adding a few mice to the quilt would make it more fun. Yeah. Thanks for the suggestion, but yeah, no. What makes you think that after the cats, I want to make mice? I'm going to get this quilt done, and then it'll be done. And then no more of these kind, he says, until the next one. Then we were talking about, would you give a quilt to a quilter as a Christmas present or some other present? Because I said that kind of I think, well, why would I do that? But there were some good comments about this. I'd love to get a quilt, one person said. At least quilters appreciate the time, effort, and cost. I was burned by gifting a co-worker a baby and matching mum quilt that cost me over $200 to make, and she didn't even say thank you, ever. I'm still not over it, to be honest, and I haven't gifted a quilt since. I'll be screening for quilt worthiness in the future, or donating to charitable causes instead, where I can fantasize someone loving it. Yeah, that's true. There's 2 points here. Quilters would appreciate the time and effort. So, yeah, okay, I didn't think about it from that point of view, but that's very true. And yes, if you give a quilt to somebody, and let's face it, we put a lot of work and effort into it, not to mention the cost of it, we want to thank you. We want them to actually gush, especially non-quilters. We want them to gush. We want our egos stroked. We do. Admit it. We do. Another person wrote, as for the question of whether or not it's appropriate or socially acceptable to give a quilter a quilt, it's fine. Don't overthink it. I don't know anybody that would be disappointed. If you were hesitant to go that gift route, a little basket of high-quality thread and notions, or even a tin of cookies frosted to look like quilt blocks would delight most of us. That's too much work. P.S. Mug rugs are cute. I also like sets of coasters. I also love the idea of making customized charm packs for a gift. Well, fun to surprise someone with all the fabrics. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is overthinking it about giving the quilt. That's very true. And then someone said, didn't Stephanie make you a quilt? I thought she did. I think a quilter would appreciate a quilt from another quilter. I think that's a backhanded slap in my face. Yes, Stephanie did give us each a quilt when we were in Halifax, and we love them, and we absolutely appreciated them. But here's why I appreciate them. Because they came from a friend. And so Stephanie could have given us a lump of coal with a bow on it, and I would have appreciated it and put it in a place. But I mean, I consider Stephanie a supreme and professional quilter, and so yes, I was honored. We were both honored to get a quilt from her. Somebody else wrote, I would never be insulted if someone gave me a quilt. We really make things for ourselves. We always give things away. Okay, that's a thought. I don't. That's why I have so many bloody quilts. I guess maybe that's true, though. I know lots of people, as soon as... I know one gentleman that we all know that's not here today because he's still having a holiday out in Portugal, Spain, and Morocco, and things like that. And he never keeps a quilt. He gives them all away to charity. Because he says, and I understand this, he likes the process. The final product, yeah, that's done. And I'm kind of the same way. So why do I have so many bloody quilts that I haven't given away? Got to do something about that. Suggestions for other gifts too. Make pillows from orphan blocks. Sure, that's an idea. Then back to gifting quilts to quilters. This person says she has 4 sisters. One has joined me in the love of quilting. Just this week, we all gathered for lunch, and this sister gifted the rest of us, including me, a scrappy lap quilt. I was honored to be gifted one of her quilts, even though I'm more than capable of making a similar one. Any gift is an expression of love, affection, respect, regardless of whether the recipient can make or buy the same item themselves. And I guess that's a point that I was missing in that too. That yes, it goes to that old saying, right? It's not the gift, it's the thought that counts. So yeah, if someone made it and thought you were quilt worthy enough, and even if you are a quilter, then yeah, that's a gift you should honor. And somebody sort of wrote a reply to that comment saying, absolutely, it's okay. I appreciate anything handmade and would consider it an honor to receive a quilt from another quilter. So, yeah, so I guess you can give a quilter a quilt. Kind of a thing. Well, I didn't say you couldn't, but I said I thought, well, maybe that's not as nice as giving them something else since they can make their own. But I stand corrected, people, on that. Okay, let's just finish up by going through a few more of the comments that have been popping up here while I was rattling on.
Matt Brennan says,
Oh, what? Matt Brennan, I got an idea for the next virtual retreat. Walter could briefly show us how to make a shirt for those of us who have never made one. Not to change the subject of the sandbox. Briefly show. Briefly show. That's the operative word here. So, can you make a shirt in 45 minutes?
No.
Okay, no presentation. Sorry. Thanks
Maybe
for
10 to 15 hours.
Yeah.
And that's knowing the pattern and knowing the pattern without even having to read the instructions. So,
yeah. Okay, Rob, thanks for the email. Melissa says, Stephanie and I have 2 kids with autism, and Halloween was nothing for them for years. Yeah. The only holiday I need in fall, winter is Thanksgiving and New Year's, according to Loanne. Your cats are awesome looking, Julie says. Hello, Julie. Thank you. Teresa says, I finished my Alaska quilt, plan to give it to the recipient, a great niece, next weekend. I know she'll love it, and gosh, she's been waiting for her go to college quilt for years. Well, you see, that's a quilt worthy person, right? You know they're going to love it, that they want it, and that makes you feel good. Oh, Stephanie says, Stephen and Walter are quilt worthy. We are. I say no more. Okay, everybody, that's our time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, what can I say? We got serious for a while, then we went off the rail as we usually do, and that. So anyways, enjoy your Halloween. Don't eat too much of the candy you're supposed to be giving out to the kids. I'm hoping we always buy stuff we like. So, leftovers. Leftovers are always good. Yeah. So next week, Sewing with Stephanie and Steven on Wednesday. All the usual videos up. And next Sunday, for the guys only, our first sew day. Sorry, girls. No girls allowed. Okay. And and remember the time change thing. That's going to be scary. Okay, so everybody, have a great week, and we'll see you all later. Bye for now.